This conversation is important.
I could debate you on this back and forth.
Every human being on this earth right now, we must be better.
This week in Black People Shit.
When we talk about how people are doing right now, particularly Black people, I heard that statistic that we're not doing well. And that has a lot to do with our mental capacity.
We're dealing with massive stress. Now here's the compound issue. Stress weakens the immune system.
Create yourself as if you are a bill. You know how you have a car note? You know how you have a cell phone? You know how you have rent? You have all these other bills. You become a bill and you pay yourself first. You pay yourself first before you pay any other bill.
When I think of financial literacy, I just don't think of the classroom work. I think some of it is practical applications and hands-on training. So I do think that part of it has to be infrastructure. Many of the reasons why we're dying is because of the conditions we live under that cause our health to be so bad. It's the food, it's the water, it's clean that shit up first.
They're acting like the reason it's affecting us disproportionately is it's our fault. Like there's a black that's bad. No, you've been feeding me church's chicken my whole life.
Yeah.
And my grandma's.
I wasn't always Republican.
I became a Republican in a Bible study, actually.
Both of my parents were Democrats.
What does your family think? Because we're from the same place.
A lot of my friends have kind of disowned me. I'm a Trump supporter, but mainly I'm a conservative. I think that many of the things that he does jive with my values.
In Mississippi, we had a governor named Ross Barnett, and in Alabama, they had George Wallace. Donald Trump's playbook is straight from these guys' playbook. It's the same messaging that was used back in the 60s.
These are the rubber bullet casings that I was getting shot at with in Minneapolis. The only danger that I was in was when I was around police officers. So I got shot at with these.
When I applied, I was a college graduate. I have no criminal record. I've never done drugs. I don't even drink. They wanted to disqualify me just because of what neighborhood I grew up in. You had white officers who was coming in with DUIs, with arrest records.
My wife is a cop, right? I see through a different lens. If you're just like, yeah, let's fuck up 10, let's kill 50 cops just because, that's only a fraction of the Black people that they've killed. Wait, now you're talking about my wife.
And one of the key things that you said that I thought was so powerful that I need to just post as one of my quotes is racism is sin.
It is sin. And I know that some of those guys in that room have never said that from a pulpit. When stuff like this happened, the George Floyd stuff, not a one of you stand up.
Our BPS of the week, Marlene Diaz found herself being frustrated with the lack of Black female main characters in the school books that she was reading. So at the tender age of 11, she started a book drive called #1000 Black Girl Books, which was designed to attract attention to the lack of diversity in children's books and to donate books to kids in need.
Rodney, as T.C. Russell, you had 2 daughters. Who did you love more, Simone or Whitney?
Uh-oh. Get Christy.
Simone, by the way, is Christy's character.
I love them both.
And if you feel like for your child, it's really, really important that they go to school, then at that point, you just have to do what you can to make that safer, right? So at that point, it's risk mitigation. So it's important that the student wears a mask, that they understand how to wash their hands.
There are a couple of schools in like your hometown, New Jersey, teaching 7th and 8th graders about financial literacy. Joe Biden, if he's elected, he needs to make that a part of his educational platform.
I don't like to this idea that Black people somehow need to be lifted up by some external source.
I don't think it's a need. I think it's leveling the playing ground.
It's not just about Trump being an idiot, and that's the nicest way I've ever talked about him. It's about the decisions that he will have to make if he's re-elected, and that is filling the Supreme Court. And if he fills another seat or potentially another 2 seats in his next 4 years, that's changing the laws of the land.
Yeah.
In the opposite direction. That's Roe v. Wade. That's our voting rights as Black folks.
When we come into audition, I mean, we obviously know we should look like our picture, but Black women, we change our hair so often. Like some days we're like, oh, I just got an audition and I have braids.
I had to learn about this. I really did. And I think most people should be completely fine. We know people's hair change. You should be able to look beyond what someone's wearing or how their hair is.
We need to continue to have the roles for the actors and actresses of color so they can be recognized, so they can be multi-dimensional characters that are reflective of the human experience that we get to show on the screen. So yes to us,
And for it to continue, we need the people in the positions to continue those roles as writers, as showrunners, as all of these things.
We know that there are, a huge, diverse world out there that is not represented, and we have a duty to make that more representative of the world we live in.
As a Black man in society, you feel like you're not heard. You feel like no one even cares. So why even say anything?
Be able to have, platforms like these where we can, talk about the fact that my Black disabled experience is not the same as another Black person's experience.
There was a time in my life where I did not want to talk about my brother being bipolar, schizophrenic, all those kind of things. So I decided to make my brother the BPS of the week because it is the 2-year anniversary of his death this week. Sorry, didn't know I was gonna have a breakdown. But anyway, that is our show for the week.
I'm Christy Ferris, and that was This Week in Black People Shit.